On our 40th wedding anniversary, my husband looked at me across the dinner table with tears in his eyes and said, "There's something I need to tell you, something I've kept from you for 40 years." My heart stopped. After 4 decades of marriage, 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and a lifetime of memories, what could he possibly have hidden from me all these years? Was it another woman? A secret past? Financial troubles? My mind raced through every possibility. But what he told me that night, it wasn't what I expected. It was something far more beautiful, something that explained 40 years of small moments I'd never quite understood. This is our story, a love story that spans 40 decades, and the secret that made it all make sense. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. We share true love stories that prove some things are worth waiting for. Let me take you back to where it all started, the summer of 1982. I was 22 years old, fresh out of college with a teaching degree and dreams of changing the world one classroom at a time. I'd just moved to a small town in Ohio to start my first teaching job. I knew absolutely no one, no friends, no family nearby, just me, a tiny apartment, and a whole lot of hope. That first Saturday, I decided to explore the town. I wandered into a small bookstore on Main Street, the kind that doesn't really exist anymore. Dusty shelves, creaky floors, and the smell of old paper and coffee. And that's where I saw him, Robert. He was behind the counter, reading a worn copy of Hemingway, completely absorbed. He had kind eyes and the worst attempt at a mustache I'd ever seen. When I approached the counter with my books, he looked up and smiled. And I swear, in that moment, something shifted. I didn't believe in love at first sight, but I believed in possibility. "You're new in town," he said. Not a question, just an observation. "How can you tell?" I asked. He smiled wider. "Because I've never seen you before, and I would have remembered." We talked for 2 hours about books, about dreams, about why we both ended up in this little town. He was saving money to open his own bookstore. I was saving the world one 5th grader at a time. We were young, idealistic, and somehow perfect for each other. He asked me out that same day, dinner at the only Italian restaurant in town. He wore a suit that was slightly too big. I wore my best dress and too much hairspray. It was the 80s, after all. By the end of summer, we were inseparable. By Christmas, we were engaged. By the following June, we were married in a small church with 30 guests and a reception in someone's backyard. Everyone said we were too young, too naive, that we'd rushed into it. But we didn't care. We were in love, and that was all that mattered. The first few years were magical. We were broke, living in a tiny apartment above the bookstore Robert finally opened, but we were happy. We'd spend evenings reading together, talking about everything and nothing. Our first child, Michael, came in 1987, then Sarah in 1990, and finally our surprise baby, Emma, in 1995. 3 kids, 1 bookstore, 1 teacher's salary. We were stretched thin, exhausted, overwhelmed. But every morning, Robert would wake up early and leave a note by the coffee maker. Always different. Sometimes funny, "You married a man who burns toast. Sorry about that." Sometimes sweet, "Watching you sleep reminds me why I believe in miracles." He did this every single day for 40 years, even when we fought, even when money was tight, even when we were so tired we could barely speak. There was always a note. I kept every single one, boxes and boxes of them, over 14,000 notes, each one a tiny reminder that I was loved, even on the days I didn't feel lovable. Life wasn't always easy. Robert's bookstore struggled when the big chains moved in. We almost lost it in 2008 during the recession. There were nights I heard him crying in the bathroom, thinking I was asleep. My teaching salary barely covered the bills. We couldn't afford family vacations. The kids wore hand-me-downs. We drove cars that broke down more than they ran. But somehow, we made it. We taught our kids that love wasn't about money. It was about showing up, being present, choosing each other every single day. The years flew by. Kids graduated, went to college, got married, had children of their own. Robert's hair went gray. My joints started aching. We became the couple we used to see in restaurants, holding hands across the table, not needing to fill every silence with words. And through it all, there was always a note by the coffee maker. Every single day. I want to take a moment to celebrate all of you who've walked this journey. If you've been married 20 years, 30 years, or more, drop your anniversary year in the comments below. Let's celebrate commitment. Let's celebrate choosing love, even when it's hard. And if this story is touching your heart, hit that like button and share this with your husband or wife. Sometimes we need reminders of why we said "I do" all those years ago. Which brings us to last month, our 40th wedding anniversary. The kids surprised us with a beautiful dinner at our favorite restaurant, the same Italian place where we had our first date, now under new ownership, but still standing. After dinner, after the kids and grandkids left, Robert and I sat alone at the table. The restaurant had given us a private corner. Candlelight, wine, just us. That's when I noticed he was crying. Robert doesn't cry easily. In 40 years, I'd seen him cry maybe 5 times. At our wedding, when each of our children were born, when his father died. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" I asked, reaching for his hand. He took a deep breath, squeezed my hand, and said, "I need to tell you something. I should have told you years ago. I should have told you on our wedding day." My heart was pounding. 40 years, and he'd kept something from me? I thought about those notes, those 14,000 notes. Had they all been a lie? "Robert, you're scaring me," I whispered. He wiped his eyes and looked directly at me. "Do you remember when we met? In the bookstore?" "Of course I remember," I said. "How could I forget?" He took another breath. "What I never told you, what I've never told anyone, is that meeting you wasn't an accident." "What do you mean?" I asked. And then he told me the whole story. 3 weeks before you walked into that bookstore, I saw you. You were at the grocery store, struggling with too many bags. One broke, and apples went rolling everywhere. I helped you pick them up. You thanked me, smiled, and left. And I was gone. Completely, utterly gone. I asked the checkout clerk who you were. She said you were the new teacher, just moved to town. I found out where you lived. Small town, everyone knows everything. I learned you liked books. I worked at my father's hardware store, but I applied for a job at the bookstore. I told them I'd work for minimum wage, anything. I just needed to be there when you came in. I waited. Every day for 3 weeks I watched the door, hoping you'd walk in. And on the day you finally did, I pretended to be reading. I pretended it was casual, but I'd been waiting for you, planning what I'd say, rehearsing in my head every night. That mustache you made fun of, I'd grown it specifically because I thought it made me look older, more distinguished. I was so nervous I was shaking. When you walked up to the counter, I'd been reading the same paragraph for 20 minutes, not processing a single word. And when you smiled at me, when we started talking, I fell even deeper in love. Every date, every conversation, every moment, I felt like the luckiest man alive because you chose me, even though I'd orchestrated our meeting. I sat there, processing what he'd just told me. 40 years? He'd kept the secret for 40 years? I never told you because I was ashamed. It felt manipulative, dishonest.
I wanted you to think we'd met by fate, by magic, by chance. But the truth is, I chased you. I engineered it, and I've carried that guilt for 4 decades. He looked at me with such fear, such vulnerability, waiting for me to be angry, to feel betrayed, to see our entire marriage differently. But you know what I felt? Loved. So completely, utterly loved. I took his hands in mine and I said, Robert, you didn't trick me. You didn't manipulate me. You saw someone you liked and you made sure you had a chance to meet them. That's not wrong. That's human. But what about the lie? He asked. What lie? I said. You never lied. You just didn't tell me the full story. And you know what? It doesn't change anything, because even if we'd met that day at the grocery store, even if you'd introduced yourself right then, I still would have fallen in love with you. How can you be sure? He asked. Because, I said, you've spent 40 years showing me every single day that I made the right choice. 14,000 notes, 14,000 mornings of being reminded that I'm loved. That's not manipulation, that's devotion. You didn't trick me into loving me, Robert. You earned it. Every single day for 40 years, you earned it. The how we met doesn't matter. What matters is how you've loved me every day since. We sat there crying and laughing for another hour. 40 years of marriage, and we were still learning new things about each other, still finding ways to fall deeper in love. That night, when we got home, I went to the closet and pulled out all those boxes of notes. We stayed up until 3 in the morning reading them. 40 years of love letters, each one proof that whatever brought us together, it was real, it mattered, it lasted. This morning, like every morning for the past 40 years, there was a note by the coffee maker, but this one was different. Thank you for loving me even when I wasn't perfect. Thank you for seeing the man I tried to be, not the scared kid who just wanted a chance. 40 down, forever to go. I'd choose you again, and again, and again. Love, your Robert. People always ask what the secret to a long marriage is. I used to say communication, compromise, commitment, and those things are true. But after 40 years, I've learned the real secret. It's choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you think you've run out of reasons. You choose love. And if you're lucky, really lucky, you find someone who chooses you back 14,000 times, 40 years, and counting. This is Robert and Margaret's story. 40 years of choosing each other, 40 years of notes by the coffee maker, 40 years of proof that sometimes the best love stories aren't about how they begin, they're about how they continue. Now, I want to hear from you. How did you meet your partner? Was it fate? Was it planned? Was it somewhere in between? Share your story in the comments. We love reading them, and your story might inspire our next video.